Mickey. We saved a very special game for the last demo of the day. Welcome.
Great to be here, thanks.
All right, so Epic Mickey, we got to see a bit at the press conference. Now, tell us about the game. How did this idea even start?
You know, it's amazing. I'm the luckiest guy in the world. I went to Disney. I was talking about a variety of projects that I wanted to do, and they asked me if I was interested in doing a Mickey Mouse game. They had a little treatment that they showed me, and I just fell in love with it. There were some really amazing things, and I said, that is a seed that I can grow into a beautiful tree, you know?
Were you always a big Mickey Mouse fan growing up?
Yeah. I mean, a Disney fan from the start. I mean, literally the day I was born, my dad bought me a Pluto plush toy.
Aww.
And 9 months later, my mom put first set of mouse ears on me, and there are pictures to prove it.
Yeah.
So I've been a Disney fan from birth.
I think we all have had a set of Mickey Mouse ears at some point in our lives.
Well, that's the incredible thing about the opportunity to work with a character like Mickey. Every human being I've ever met and will ever meet already knows about this guy. I could go out on the street and start screaming, I invented J.C. Denton, you know, and no one would care. But you say you're making a Mickey Mouse game? Oh man, do people care.
Oh, I bet. So about the game, what are you guys showing us today?
Well, we've put together a demo that shows off 3 different types of maps. The game is a combination of the best of adventure, platforming, and Deus Ex style role-playing game. And so it's only natural there are 3 different kinds of maps. The one we're looking at now is called a quest map. That's where you learn about quests, you talk to characters, you find out what they're interested, what they need and want, and then from there, once you know about quests, you move on to what we call a travel map. You'll see one of those in a minute. And then from the travel maps into an action map where you actually use the stuff you know to accomplish your mission goals. And then in the game, not here in the demo, but in the game, you'll come back to the quest map and you'll see what impact your choices in the action maps had on all of the characters that you've come to know and love.
Okay, so with all these different choices and the impact, like how many different endings would we be expecting here?
Well, a lot. I don't want to reveal too much about what we're doing with the ending, but I assure you that how you interact with the world and whose quests you take and whose you ignore will determine who your friends are, who your enemies are, who's there with you at the end of the game, and how the various characters' stories end up.
So, how does the story start off? Like, what's Mickey doing?
Well, Mickey, he's the most popular, successful cartoon star in the world, and he's kind of mischievous. So one day he's playing around with some things he doesn't quite understand, very Fantasia-like, and inadvertently unleashes a monster on a world called Wasteland, which is a world for 80 years of forgotten and rejected Disney creative stuff. And that monster drags him down into Wasteland, and he's sitting there going, wait, I'm not forgotten, I'm not rejected, I gotta get out of here. But as he's trying to get out, he discovers, hey, there are a lot of characters here that used to be my friends, and even I've forgotten about them. And hey, I created a lot of problems for this world when I unleashed this monster, and holy cow, I've got a brother, Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, I didn't even know about, and he hates me. So I have to redeem him. So it starts out as a simple escape game and turns rapidly into something far more.
So we have like the rejected, did you get to go into the Disney vaults and see all of like the rejected ideas that have been hidden in there?
Oh, absolutely. One of the coolest things about this game is having access, just being a part of the Disney organization. They gave me access to the archives. There are actually 7 different archives, I think, at Disney. And I poured through all of them. I saw things that literally haven't been seen since 1935. I saw storyboards for a Gremlins movie that was never made back in World War II. It's amazing.
What an amazing experience. Now, so what are we doing here right now? What's Mickey doing?
What's going on here is Mickey is trying to accomplish some goals that a rejected concept for the character Smee from Peter Pan gave him. He said, if you help me, you do these 3 things for me, I'll help you get into the next place you have to go. And so Mickey is accomplishing those 3 quests. This one, he's in a shop now. We have a game economy, you can buy things. You collect tickets just like you did at Disneyland back in the day. So he's saying, round up all 3 masks, they're tiki masks. You have to get them all, and you can then move on into the next world.
Mm-hmm.
So now we have to explore this place and find the tiki masks. Now, Adam, who's driving this, my producer, he could just go and find all the masks, but he's being a little mischievous now. He's already found 2 of them and given them to Tiki Sam, and he's used the power of Thinner, which allows you to erase things. He's erased the back wall of the shop, snuck in there, and Tiki Sam didn't notice him.
Yeah.
He took one of the masks that he already gave Tiki Sam, and now he's going to give him the same mask. That's a little mischievous.
Sneaky.
That's sneaky. He shouldn't be doing that. But Tiki Sam didn't notice. But Gus Gremlin, Gremlin Gus, who is kind of your Jiminy Cricket, he noticed. And, you know,
you have a conscience?
Yes, you have a conscience. And now he's actually moving on to another quest where there are 2 characters who are in love, or one character who loves another, actually. A pirate is in love with a cow. It's very strange. Yeah, we don't think about that too much. But the pirate wants to know what does a woman want? I don't know how to woo a woman. And so
when it's a cow, though. But,
it is different when it's a cow. And it's a lactose intolerant cow, which just makes it even weirder. But Mickey has to discover what does Henrietta the cow want, and then decide if he's going to get these 2 characters together, or if he's going to split them up, you know, and ensure that they don't actually get together. So he's actually decided to give Damien Salt, this pirate, the flowers, which is in fact what she wants.
Yeah.
And so this shy, nervous pirate gave her what she wants.
Aw, quest completed.
So now Mickey gets this object that Smee said he needed, and now, you know, we can move on to another part of the map. So,
Okay.
Adam, move on.
Yeah, so while we check out another part of the map, I have some questions here from Pashmina from Canada. It's like, are there going to be interesting boss battles?
Yes, there are. I mean, any game that calls itself a mashup of adventure, platforming, and role-playing, it has to have boss battles. There are some interesting twists on the boss battle. I can't do anything the easy way.
Yeah.
So our boss battles are very different, and even there, the whole idea of player choice comes into it. So you may or may not have to defeat the bosses the way you might expect. So I'm just going to leave it at that. I haven't talked about that yet, so you got a little scoop there.
Okay, so this is a Steamboat Willie level.
Yeah, I really wanted to do something that was obviously directly inspired by real Mickey Mouse cartoons. I wanted players to feel like they were in a cartoon.
Yeah.
And so, you know, we picked a lot of these. We're showing Steamboat Willie here, but there are actually many Mickey cartoons that we've sort of recreated. And so we get to honor Disney's creative history and Mickey's past, but at the same time, also honor all of those classic platform games that, you know, I at least have been loving since the 8-bit days. I've always wanted to do a platform game, and no publisher has been foolish enough to let me do it. So I kind of snuck it in here.
No, I love the 2D platforming. It just changes the whole dynamic.
So, you know, again, some of them are black and white, some of them are old school, some of them are more recent. So let's jump into the next map now and see an action space. So this one's going to take a little while to load. I promise everybody who's watching, I promise we will not have load screens when we ship the game. But here at Rated E3, we have some load screens.
That's okay. But in the meantime, Kyle from Auckland, New Zealand is wondering, like, what other classic Disney characters will be in the game?
Well, we have a big cast of characters, but I can tell you that the one I'm most psyched about is Oswald the Lucky Rabbit.
Oh.
Oswald was Walt Disney's first cartoon star. Created in the late 20s, but Disney lost the rights to the character in 1928. There's a huge contract dispute with his distributor, and that's the only reason Mickey Mouse exists today.
Really?
Yeah, and so that was such a wonderful starting point for a story that, you know, if Oswald had remained a Disney character, Mickey wouldn't have happened.
Well, yeah, who knew? Who knows what would have happened?
So that's kind of one of the sort of sub-themes of the story, you know, older brother, you know, rejected, forgotten, you know, and his younger brother steals the life that should have been his. So Oswald resents Mickey, and Mickey has to do something about that.
Gotcha.
So here we are actually in our action map. This is all action all the time. Now there are a bunch of enemies in these maps, but again, you can choose to go looking for fights, or you can avoid them. It's all about player choice.
Okay.
So you know, even if you get into a fight, how you deal with it can change radically. So here, Adam there are a couple of enemies there. They're little guys we call spatters. They're kind of fun and funny and silly, and you see them throughout the game. Enough of them together can be really dangerous. But now you can just erase them using the power of thinner. Just erase them, make them go away, which you're seeing Adam here do now. Or you can friend them. You can use paint to turn them into friends. And now, he'll follow you around. If you encounter another enemy, they'll help you. Okay, so how you choose to interact with characters is important. And the game is actually tracking all of that stuff. What quests you do, how you interact with characters and enemies. The game is following all of that.
Can you visibly see any kind of tracking system, or is it all behind the scenes?
Yeah, we've got a couple of things. Up in the upper left-hand corner of the screen, there's a little gauge. Okay. So if you're really kind of a min-maxer, we call it in gaming, you know, if you really want to go, I want to go all paint, you can do that and do the things that will sort of move you in that direction. But what I'm really hoping is that players just play the way they want, interact with characters the way they feel like interacting with them, and in ways that are fun and meaningful to them. And the game will adjust based on that, sort of automatically. The big thing you'll see, I don't know if we'll get to it here, but if you do enough erasing of stuff, you'll attract these little characters that we created called Guardians. And they'll do some interesting, fun stuff for you. And if you use paint a lot and you're sort of helpful and restoring all the time, you'll attract a different Guardian who will do different things for you. So there'll be a visible on-screen thing that shows the impact of your choices throughout the game.
So there's a lot of replayability if you want to go through the game, like swing one way and then come back and play it again.
Absolutely. In fact, it won't be possible to see everything in a single playthrough. You're going to have to play it through more than once to see everything in the game.
How long will it take to get through a game, roughly?
Well, you know, I'm no longer a believer in the 100-hour game. I'm done there. And as a gamer, I don't have time to do that
no
anymore.
one has cut time anymore.
So what we're really shooting for is about 8 to 12 hours of play.
Yeah.
And I think that's long enough that it'll feel epic.
Yeah.
And short enough that players will kind of want to play it again to see how it's different if they play differently.
So Mickey Mouse has gone through a lot of changes over the years, has evolved. Like, what made you guys decide on this look?
You know, I wanted a look that took kind of the best of the old school. I mean, the early white mask, rubber hose look is what they called it. I wanted something really classical. Oh, Adam. Adam puddled himself.
That's okay.
So I wanted something that was kind of old school, but there are a lot of subtle things that we did to make him look and feel more modern. And I gotta tell you, I love this little guy. I think our Mickey is so cool. I mean, your mileage may vary, but I love the way he looks. I love the way he moves. And we've really done something that I think the controls are really tight. They feel really good. So I hope everybody agrees, obviously.
Yeah.
But I've fallen in love with this little guy.
All right, great. Well, the game looks great. Now, when is it coming out and on what platform?
Disney Epic Mickey is shipping this holiday season exclusively on the Nintendo Wii.
All right, well, thank you so much for coming by and showing us the game.
My pleasure. It was great to be here.
And that about wraps up today's live E3 show. Be sure to stay tuned tomorrow because we start at 10 a.m. all over again.